Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I wasn't actually going to record a video today because it is a holiday weekend and got a lot of family stuff going on, a lot of cooking, but I came across a little thing on Twitter about the Great American Novel, and I got to thinking about that and was like, oh, I want to do a brief little video on that topic today. So, what exactly is the Great American Novel? Well, it's kind of an idea or a pursuit. The term was coined by, I believe, John de la Forest back in 1868 in an essay. And the idea behind the Great American Novel is that it is a novel that encapsulates the essence of America, the national character of this country. And there have been a lot of scholars and academics who have debated whether this novel has already been written or if it can be written. A few examples of books that are cited as the Great American Novel are Moby Dick, Huckleberry Finn, The Great Gatsby, Uncle Tom's Cabin, and then more recently books like Toni Morrison's Beloved, Infinite Jest. So you kind of get the idea of the scope of the novels that are considered maybe the Great American Novel. But I don't actually think there is such a thing as the Great American Novel, and I don't think there ever will be a Great American Novel. Now, this is not to say that there are no great American novels. I mean, there are tons of great American novels, and the ones that I just listed are all examples. They're all masterpieces, and there are many, many more. But I don't think the idea of the Great American Novel is a good one, because America, as this melting pot, as this nation of immigrants, and as this country that has seen so many different phases and has gone through so many different types of revolutions, such as the actual Revolutionary War, the Industrial Revolution, the Tech Revolution. So there are so many different phases and periods in this country's history that even if there was a novel that does sort of capture the essence of America, it's going to capture the essence of America during that time it was written. And that time is probably going to be very different than other times in American history. So I just don't believe that you can really have one novel that can be called the Great American Novel, because the history is too diverse and too wide ranging. Also, just the idea is a bit pompous and pretentious, and I don't believe in these sort of labels as saying this is the best of this. I don't think that is really fruitful. I think of America as a melting pot, as a nation of immigrants, and it is ideally a land rife with opportunity and opportunity for stories to be told. And there's a wide range of stories to be told about America because of the nature of the country itself. And what that means is that you can't narrow it down to one story. America is many stories. And so I guess the ideal scenario is, rather than one great American novel, this is a country of great novels. And I think that's true if you look at the novels that have been written, and I hope that's true going forward, that we don't try to come up with one story that captures what this country is, because the country is just too complicated. I was watching one of my favorite movies, actually. It's called The Immigrant, with Joaquin Phoenix and Marion Cotillard, directed by the great James Gray. And there's a little review on Letterboxd by a critic, Ignatiy Vishnevsky. And he basically said, it's just like a one sentence review, but he said, "The Great American Novel has not been written yet, but James Gray went ahead and made a movie about it anyway." I love that, and it sort of encapsulates what I think of this whole topic, that there is no great American novel, that the great American novel is America itself and the potential of America, and the idea that America is a place with so much diversity that the stories are all there. Now, I'm not being the most eloquent about this topic, but basically I think that, yeah, this country is a nation of immigrants. All are welcome, and all stories are welcome. There is not a hierarchy of stories here, and there is not one story that sits at the top to rule over all. And I think that's the way it ought to be. That's the way that is true to the national character, or at least the character that we strive for with this country. And I'm sure there's a more succinct and eloquent way to put that, but that's just kind of what I have to say about it right now. And now I have to go get on with my weekend. I've got a little potluck I'm going to, so I'm making some stuffed peppers. It's at my brother's house, who's vegan, so all food must be vegan. So I'm going to try my hand at making some vegan stuffed peppers. It should be fun. Shouldn't be too difficult. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So what do you think? Does the great American novel exist? Is it something that can be written? Has it been written? Or are you like me and you just think that it's probably not the greatest idea to be seeking out a single story that represents an entire country? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks so much for watching this. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. And that's all I've got, so we will see you next time.